I think there's huge value in Singapore. Yes, the liquidity has dried up, but I think there's huge value to be had. And I'm going out on a limb by saying that I think that a lot of the companies here will be acquired and privatized because I think they're ripe for it. So whether the investor at this point of time wants to have a look at some of these companies, which I think the fundamentals are good. Some of these are global companies. They're not going to be replaced by new technologies, or they are themselves a leader in the technology space. I think there are several companies that you should look at. I think there needs to be a drive for new content out in the market. There are a lot of different players, especially with MiFID II laws coming around, that are offering paid research, open source research. Also, I think MES also came up with a recent grant. I think it was a 75 million grant, if I'm not wrong, for companies that want to be the companies that want to go and list, and also to promote research. But I also think that they need to think differently in terms of how that content is distributed. And I don't think anyone has really touched upon that. So I think if that's addressed, and if you are attracting new investors, that's one option. Also, I think I do think apps like what Clement has is interesting, because you need heroes. I think you use the word heroes, right? Or mavericks, or whatever you want to call it. People want to aspire to be greater than who they are, right? You need people to step up and say, look, this is the way I've made money. I mean, the great names of the world, Warren Buffett, you have property developers in Hong Kong, Wee Hong Leong, Singapore, all these names. Where's the new generation? But you see the ICO guys, as you said, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, whatever. I'm not necessarily condoning that kind of behavior, but people aspire to want more. And we need people to step up to the plate, put their money where their mouth is, and do something about it. And it's inspiring for me personally to see people like Dr. Anil fighting the fight. He could have easily gone to UK, right? You could have easily said, forget it, I'll just make my trades, make my money, and very, very happily make my money, and keep this technology to myself, right? But no, these are people who are changing. And now, I mean, yes, valuations are down, it looks terrible. But look what happened previously. When valuations were down, when liquidity was down, look what the private equity funds did. They privatized so many of our companies. They said, oh my God, look at the cash generation of these companies. These are global companies. Let's take them private and make money. If the stock market is not going to appreciate it, we're going to take it away. Then suddenly, after that, you got the boost. Oh, this company is very similar to the one that got privatized. And then another run started. Of course, there are other reasons the run started. But I mean, I always like to use this cheap phrase, which is, the night is darkest just before dawn. And I think we're in a similar situation now. And it just takes a couple of bright sparks to get things going again.
Kamal dropped a very huge hint to all of us here today. And the hint is this. There are private equity firms right now looking at SGX listed companies because it has fallen below the intrinsic value, and it's a beautiful time to acquire. So if you think about our famous 3-in-1 coffee mix, that's super, it was acquired. If you know about OSIM massage chair, KKR has taken a significant stake in OSIM. More deals to come this year, because right now we are trading at a certain value that is very, very palatable to the PE firms. And they'll be coming on a shopping spree very soon. So that being said, I think we can also look at exciting companies like Grab, which I believe perhaps half of the audience here, you use the app very frequently. They just announced that they're going to distribute insurance products through the app itself. Then you can see there are more such exciting development coming on board. And for us, is to be very aware what's happening, and the opportunities to make money is always there.
From the industry perspective, I can't go as broad as Clement. I can only talk about the biotech industry. What is interesting is when in Christmas Eve, when the US market dropped the biotech market has been outperforming. Now, a lot of people look at the biotech market as the most risk-heavy market. But if you think about it, it's actually data accumulation around an asset that never goes away. The use of that data can be modified with more knowledge, and you will see these biotech companies keep going up. So it is counterintuitive, and I think in terms of Singapore, we need this kind of industries that are tech-heavy, robust IP, and a growth curve. And then you dump it in terms of your P&L, if you're into manufacturing and distribution. We have all that expertise in this part of the world, distribution, manufacturing. What we don't have is a growth up to that point. We take somebody else's and we put it there. Second curve in Singapore, we need tech companies with IP, robust IP, tech companies, and then build the innovation from there.